My dad had bipolar disorder, and he had, I often think about it, and I think about what it would have, what his life would have been like, and what our farm would have been like had we had, good supports, had we had the better medicine, the better recognition from the clinician side, the better recognition from the community side of what we could do to support him. Because of course he was self-medicating. He was an alcoholic, right?
Of
And
course. Yeah.
yeah, which now we know, but at the time, we just knew that we had a problem. The other piece with that is that bipolar disorder runs through your family, right? And so my middle brother David also developed bipolar disorder, and his version of it was a little bit different than dad's. Dad had what I would call a milder version. His was more episodic, like he could have, several years and be quite fine, and then things would be more problematic. My brother David's was um, he would have a manic episode usually every spring and every fall. You couldn't necessarily set your clock by it, but you were pretty sure that you knew what was coming, and he was an absolute delight. He had the best laugh. He was so generous. He was he went to Haileybury School of Mines in Ontario for 2 years, and got his mining engineer ticket. And he was working up at Flin Flon, making lots of money working up in the mine. This is in the 1990s when I was going to university, and I wanted to go to summer school and like what they called intersession and summer session. And at the time, we didn't have a lot of money in the house. David, he's like, well, I've got money. And he wrote the check to USask, and I, was able to take those classes, right? Like he thought nothing of an incredibly generous, over the top guy.
Beautiful.
Uh, he also had all of the risk factors. He was unmarried, right? Single, no children. He had uh, an illness that was quite severe and difficult to manage. He wasn't really happy about managing it, right? The medication made him feel a particular way. He preferred not to take it, which was fine sometimes and not fine other times, right? So, I want to be real and truthful about that. He was living at the farm. My dad had died just the year before of cancer, and we'd been through a lot with that because dad had actually, the cancer actually caused a massive manic event for my dad. He was in the hospital for more than a month in the psychiatric ward the year that he died, and so we had a lot that we were still processing as a family, and David decided that he didn't want to do that anymore, and he chose to take his life, and he died by suicide at the farm.